So wow, this is a great summer table. Although I like to fill this table every week of the year, it's really nice to fill it with such an abundance of summer veg. And yeah, it's the first time it's really felt like summer from a harvest point of view, even though we've been harvesting, tomatoes and peppers and courgettes and things for months and months now, but never in this sort of quantity and at this sort of quality. So yeah, let's just go through. I think this is actually the best sort of summer table that we've ever had. It soon starts to turn towards an autumn table. And in fact, most of the allotment and the kitchen garden is planted up for winter, well, for autumn, winter and spring now. But there's still just enough to deliver this kind of bounty. So we've got 5 tubs of beans, potatoes just from the store there. I haven't really started harvesting the potatoes yet. I have, though, processed all the onions, so these are all the rejects. We eat pretty much everything, so even the rejects get eaten, and yeah, they're just fine. But we'll soon be on to our use now box of onions, and they're pretty good, and so I'm really happy with those. Just processed those this week. Yeah, the peppers, just look at these peppers. So this is, I tried to constrain myself and only pick the ones that are really well ripened. So I tried to avoid ones actually like that one, that are sort of half almost ripe. But yeah, really lovely. And these bright star, I think. I'll look it up anyway. These are the fastest ripening so far this year of the big bell peppers. But these Lemon Dream are lovely, really prolific, and just the right size for lunch boxes. So yeah, they're really nice. Courgettes, of course, loads and loads of courgettes, although these are, strictly speaking, not, I don't think, a courgette, but they're zephyr and they're really nice. And we also just started picking the odd winter squash, which we don't think will survive. And so rather than just letting it rot off on the plant, we're sort of picking these immature ones. I think we've got enough now winter squash to see us through, so yeah, we're just sort of thinning them out a little bit. Beetroot, white, red and golden, and yeah, really happy with those. The summer spinach, so I've grown spinach different this year to the way I normally do it, so I can grow it through summer. And yeah, so I've got 4 tubs of summer spinach there for cooking. The summer leeks, they're looking pretty good, aren't they? I'm really pleased with those. We have had the odd one go to seed, but pretty much happy with those. And yeah, red cabbages still, well, we've been harvesting those since June, and yeah, we'll hopefully be harvesting them all the way through until March, 1 a week. So I'm looking forward to those. But what I really like are these little pups. I love them. little ones that just sort of grow around the edges. They're just like a really big red Brussels sprout. And if you grow a lot of red cabbages, then you're pretty much harvesting a handful of pups every week. And they're all for me. So there I've got kales, different types of kales, the asparagus. So, there's no point really leaving just these little asparagus now to grow on. So we're starting to harvest those because they won't really grow much to maturity. They'll just deplete the energy of the plant, if anything, because they're kind of growing really in deep shade underneath the existing plants. The carrots, I do love to harvest carrots. I know some people really love to harvest potatoes, but I love to harvest carrots. They're my favourite, and I love to eat them as well. I like them more than I like potatoes. Tomatoes, got 5 tubs there of tomatoes. I think we've harvested £300 in monetary terms of potatoes so far this year, but this is the first kind of harvest that's big enough, weekly harvest that's big enough to process. So I should think 4.5 of those will actually be processed into passata, along with some of the peppers and onions and things and garlic and all that. And 2 tubs of cucumbers. We've harvested hundreds and hundreds of cucumbers so far this year, so I am getting a little bit fed up with them, but as long as I eat them when they're really small like that, I can still kind of enjoy them, because that's when they're at their absolute peak. Salad onions, we have salad onions all year round, so there's nothing special about those. Plums and pears and apples, and some of the apples are rubbish, but that one, wow, look at that. That is the first apple off my favourite tree this year, and it's actually only got about 8 apples on it this year, maybe 10. So yeah, I love this apple tree. I grew up with this apple tree. In fact, it was in my family's garden at home, and and it was a really sort of dwarf little tree, and I just used to pick these apples myself all through my childhood, and I brought an apple with me, and I planted the pip, and it's sort of grown almost true. It's slightly more acidic than the one that I was eating, but pretty close to my childhood apple tree. So I've been eating these pretty much every year of my life. So yeah, it's pretty special to me, that tree. And a bit of celery, and we normally pick all the fruit, you know, just as we need it from the kitchen garden, but I just picked a little bit today for you. So those are the scrappy ones that are left after the grandkids scavenged them all yesterday, and just a few blueberries. So, oh, and then there's all the salad mixes, well actually the salad bases. Somebody did mention to me actually that I don't put enough brassicas in my salad mixes. Well, you know, right now I don't, it's true. But I will soon, I'm just taking the ants out, will soon be adding the Asian greens in. And I'm just not a huge fan of brassicas chopped up in salads, you know, like cabbages and things. I just don't like them. I don't really have a very sweet tooth. In fact, the whole family has a very sweet tooth. And so it's just slightly too bitter for us. But what we do have, as I say, is lettuce bases, golden purslane, spinach, and we're going to add carrots, tomatoes, cucumbers, celery, peppers, pears, which we don't chop into the salads but we add later on, and the odd grape, which we have to buy from the supermarket. So yeah, that is a pretty nice salad, to be honest. And as I said, if a week or so's time, we'll start adding the Asian greens, and then in autumn we start adding radicchio, so and loads of Asian greens, and salad rocket with another brassica. So you know, we're not short of brassicas, and of course we've got loads of brassicas here which we'll be cooking with. And Debbie does sometimes make a red cabbage coleslaw for the salads as well. So yeah, we don't go short. In fact, you know, this is for our local family, and yeah, we're certainly getting our 30 different fruits and vegetables a week in summer. A little bit trickier in the middle of winter. I find it's just really tricky in early February, sort of mid-February, that sort of time. Probably only get 20 different fruits and vegetables at that time of year. Anyway, there we go. My name's Steve. This is the Seaside Kitchen Garden and Allotment Channel. I'll see you soon.